we're finally doing YouTube. Welcome to a Monday that we are closed. We're going to be going over the best times of 2023 and some things that we regret. It was a whirlwind of a year. Finally getting open, which we thought we would be open the year prior, but things happened. So we'll probably be touching on some things that happened in 2022, but for the most part, we're going to wrap up 2023. To start us out, what were some of the things that you're most proud of that we accomplished in 2023?
Why do I have to answer first?
Okay, I can get us started. So obviously, one of the things I'm most proud of is that we just actually opened, because in everything, and also feeling that it was so long in the making, that I think that there's a tendency of kind of overlooking the fact that we actually did open and just jumping to what else did we do that year, aside from opening. But honestly, that in and of itself was a huge accomplishment, and I'm really proud of us for actually doing the thing.
We did
the thing.
We are currently doing the thing. I think, after opening, I'm really proud of how much we have managed to make the shop grow with our limited resources. We've done so much with not a lot.
We've been very resourceful. Casey in particular has been very resourceful. And I mean, we've done a lot of changes. We were changing things every other month, at least for a while.
When we first opened, it was the first couple months we would come and change things around.
Because we would see how things were working, and then we'd be like, well, let's change that. The desk to our left was originally right in front of the front door when you walked in, and it was the new releases, and then we realized that we had too many new releases and it was not accurately displaying them. It looked really pretty, but you couldn't find the genres that you were looking for or anything like that. So it got moved. Your favorite memories of 2023?
Our grand opening.
Yeah.
I think that was a very...
I might have blacked out a little bit on that day.
I remember it being a lot happening, but it wasn't horribly overwhelming all day. There was a lot, but we had a lot of staff.
We did.
There was a line about to the door most of the day, but
we caught up at 3 p.m.
We did finally get a break, and then we were able to sit outside and enjoy the food trucks
and the live music.
And it was lovely outside. The weather was gorgeous. And then our shelves were completely empty, and it was just so satisfying to tangibly see the community support and get to meet all of them. And I think that was one of my favorite days, as exhausting as it was, and I do not want to do it again, but but it was really cool.
One of my personal favorite memories was we were in summer and things were starting to plateau just a little bit.
We didn't have super complicated drinks to start with, and then one of our managers pointed out that we shouldn't do that.
She gave us so much insight on what customers were wanting, and telling us that we were going the wrong direction.
And she said it it was so simple. Well, you just need to brand your menu, because she was saying our monthly specials were what everyone wanted.
Yeah, you just need more of that always.
Yeah, it was obvious, and we're like, okay.
We're like, oh, tell us more about this.
By the end of the day, we had everything ordered for the new menu.
Start making the new menu, and we based it off of some of the specials that we had done. We found out that people were still asking about the fabled brew that we did for our grand opening as the special drink for one day only. On the day of, I had no idea what the feedback was on that drink. We had no idea.
So we were just slinging them across the bar, here you go. Didn't have any time to get feedback.
I don't know if people liked it. I don't know if they hated it. I don't know if they were what is this ginger cardamom soda? It's a different taste, which I really like, but it's, we weren't sure.
That idea of if you like cream soda, you'll like this, but if you don't, then you won't. And, you know, a lot of people don't like cream soda. So.
And it's like a ginger cream soda.
Yeah.
So if you don't like ginger ale or something like that, then you're probably not going to like it. But that was just a really great memory of pulling from the resources that we had. Of our employees are really wonderful and are so talented and so thoughtful, and they really care about this place, and that was so wonderful to be able to get the full perspective and to change our menu, because that also gave us the result that we were looking for. Like our coffee sales did go up.
It was also a very, very long day.
Yeah.
As almost all of the things are.
Yeah.
I loved our first midnight release party.
Oh my gosh, yes. I loved that so much.
It was our first actual book event, really.
There was something different about the midnight release, maybe because
it felt so natural, I think.
It felt so natural. It didn't feel like we were having to come up with a lot of extra stuff. It just kind of was like, oh, well, of course, these are things you do at a midnight release. The book supported itself, I guess, more than us having to come up with things to do.
Yeah.
Piper has joined. So, one of the things we haven't talked about yet is our biggest challenges of 2023. Obviously, starting at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of challenges with just getting open. A lot of delays. At least in this area, things have been really backlogged for the city in terms of reviewing plans. There was kind of a boom of new businesses, so they got really backlogged on things. But just getting open was a challenge with a lot of things, which would be a whole video in and of itself. So I think that was the first challenge. I think the biggest challenge for me was challenging my scarcity mindset. We hit a boom right when we opened, and then as summer crawled forward, it tapered off. But especially when we dipped into that, like before fall hit, I was having some scarcity mindset issues, and I mean, rightly so. Like that, we had a little bit of a money challenge, not in the sense of we were in danger of not surviving, but it was definitely tight, and just trying to figure out how to manage our money and our inventory and everything, because the amount that we have to restock and rebuy and like all the bills and all that organization, that's been a challenge for me.
Okay, I have two. Staffing, just in general, figuring out how much staff we need and how much support we need for our jobs to get done and what to prioritize has definitely been a challenge. Our staffing has evolved and changed over the year, and we're hopefully getting, every time I say, hopefully we're good now, it's different. Something changes, or we're hoping to get to the point where Alyssa and I don't have to cover the front, because that's when we get pulled off of whatever we need to do in the office, and it becomes exhausting very quickly. Staffing, and then for me personally, I think my challenges are boundaries with running. So I run the social media also, and it's hard when my social media is on my phone and I'm getting questions all hours of the day and night, and also emails on your phone, seeing them all the time. Just hanging out with my bestie, and we're also business owners, so sometimes we go into business talk.
I would never.
Sometimes someone likes to work until 9 or 10 at night and then text me about it, and so I just put my phone on sleep mode.
What are boundaries?
I need hard lines of when to think about work and when not to.
Yeah.
Alyssa doesn't seem to as much, which is just that.
I work on a circuit, so like I like to spend 6 hours on each thing, or less time. But I like project jumping in my circuit. It's like a circuit workout.
Yeah. My brain doesn't work like that. I need hard rest and hard work, basically. So figuring out where my boundaries need to be and how to enforce them is a not so much a challenge, it's just a learning curve for me, I think.
And also something that I'm working on to not message. I don't think I've actually messaged you super late about work in a while.
You've done a good job.
Yeah.
There was periods, I think, when we were still in the planning phase for the business that I had to be like, Alyssa, stop. I don't want to talk about this right now.
I really like planning. It gives me energy.
Yeah, but we've gotten a lot better. And creative burnout I dealt with at different points this year, which is really frustrating because in the moment I don't feel like I'm using my creativity that much. And then all of a sudden I'm just drained and a blob, and I can't bring myself to do anything.
Well, and one of the things that I have been trying to work on too is like when to just say, okay, we're done. Like, because I think that sometimes the goals that we have and the deadlines that we have are a little bit too ambitious, and that's partially strategic in terms of how our brains work and to meet deadlines. But another part of it is still then being gentle with ourselves and deciding like, okay, well, we didn't get it all done. There's no point in us still occupying that space in our mind because
or a dining room floor
because it just doesn't matter anymore. Like we completed the decoration and that was the deadline, and so if there's more to be made, it just needs to wait because it's not going to get done. Not really, and it doesn't need to.
Our strength and our downfall is that we are quality over quantity. We have very high standards for ourselves and what we put out for our business, and we are willing to run ourselves into the ground in order to achieve that because we want that wow factor, because also, like we said, in these first 3 years we have to swim. So trying to keep it interesting and keep it magical is a high priority for us, and it will hopefully get easier because, like I said, this year has been a complete guessing game. But we want to wow people.
Yeah. To the regrets.
Okay, I have a good one that I think encompasses. So, like, we talked about our menu. I think that what we have now learned, and something that I regret doing, is we go too hard too quickly, I think. Like,
that, yeah.
We plan too much. I think now we've learned more, but so there was that day where we were like, oh, our sales have really plateaued. We really need to be making more money. And we're like this, and this. And we planned all these things at once. We overwhelmed ourselves and we went too hard. Rather than doing one thing, seeing how it turned out, doing another thing, seeing how it turned out, we were like, let's go completely hard. Overwhelm ourselves and fall to the ground.
I still have flashbacks.
I don't want to talk about it like a lot.
No, we're gonna
Okay. We decided we wanted to do a fall festival and invite some local vendors, like local artists and food trucks, and then wanted to have mums and pumpkins and do all of the fun fall things. And on the day of the event, it was gorgeous. The weather was like, it wasn't too hot. It really was feeling like fall, and it was going to be a great day. It started out pretty stressful the night before, even because we had all sorts of internet issues happening. Just technical problems. We were trying to bring a second point of sale system outside because we knew that there would be a lot of sales, and having just one register for both drinks and sales was going to be problematic. So we tried to set up the second point of sale system, and it was giving us so much trouble. And then the next day, we had it all set up, and it was going insane. There were so many people, and we got overwhelmed. And so we had so many cars pulling into our location, which is a business park. This was on a Saturday. We planned a Saturday because the business park, to our understanding, had weekday workers, and nothing happened on the weekends. I mean, we had been scouting out the parking lot for months to kind of estimate, Saturday would be a good time to do it, because what we were expecting in terms of cars was grand opening, which was fine. We did that fine. There was not an overwhelming amount of cars, but there were for the fall festival. And unfortunately, we basically got in a situation with property managers and the fact that the park is owned by two different parties, and we caused some issues, which we, in the moment, were just overwhelmed in a bad way of not knowing how to deal with it, feeling bad because we really thought that we were doing everything correctly, and just taking home the final message of we just didn't have to go that hard, which was nice because that was stressful, and I don't think either one of us ever want to do that again. I will say that the property managers were really, really nice. There was some not nice that day, but the property manager that we had was really nice, and I really appreciated how she handled things. I felt a lot more secure talking to her, and that's just not gonna happen again. So everything's fine now, but there were a lot of lessons learned of we just, if we have an idea, maybe we just delete 2 things off of that plan to make sure that it's not overwhelming like that, because or just take it. I think the lesson I learned was take it one thing at a time rather than trying to plan 5 million things at once. Because then after that event, we were supposed to have a Halloween party, and I just couldn't bring myself to not be incredibly stressed about it. So we ended up just not doing a Halloween party.
Yeah.
And then we had some different ideas come the Christmas season and the holidays for us, because we did the route of more so what could we package for people instead of the experience. And so we decided to do an advent calendar. And that was honestly a big hit. That was a bit of a, let's just try it and see if people like it. And I think it did really well.
Yeah.
We wrapped so many gifts.
You wrapped so many gifts. I wrapped
You helped.
one of the items.
I watched all of the Harry Potter movies twice through. It was honestly relaxing. So,
yeah, we would do that again. It was surprisingly successful. So.
Yeah. We had some hiring lessons learned. For privacy reasons, we won't go into super details, but I think that one of the things that we've learned this year is a little bit more of who we're looking for employees here. We honestly haven't had too much turnover, which has been nice.
For the most part, we have addressed issues pretty immediately as they come up. So anything that we would like, things like how we set things up in the shop, if we ever like, oh, that was not a good idea, then like the next Monday we rearranged.
Yeah.
Or if we discover that something's not working behind the bar, then we've pretty immediately changed it. So we've done a really good job about staying on top of problems.
Yeah, you know what we should do is we should do a count up of all the things that broke this year that we had to fix.
Did we have that many things?
We had to fix the ice machine filter.
Oh, yeah.
We had to fix multiple times the glass rinser. that was fun. Not fun at all. We've had issues with the grinder.
Still have issues with
the grinder. We've had the espresso machine service twice this year.
Oh, our toilet has flooded the hallway twice.
Yeah. We had leaking under our 3-compartment sink. We had AC issues all summer.
Yeah, that was really fun. Grease trap. The air leaking from the grease trap. Yes,
air was leaking from the grease trap because there was a whole issue with the grease trap and the concrete job, and how the concrete job basically sealed the grease trap. And then they couldn't open the lid to the grease trap to have it checked for when it needed to be pumped. So recently, like as winter started to come, we started smelling just terrible smell in our kitchen. And so we got our plumber on it, and it turned out it was
not sealed
completely. So it was leaking foul air.
It's better now. It doesn't stink anymore.
The doors still sometimes leak when it rains.
Doors and a couple of windows
comes in. Oh my gosh, the number of times that the toilet paper holder has fallen off the wall.
That's because I put them on it. And I don't know how to do it, so I just guessed.
But then Danelle fixed it, and it still falls off because the little screw gets loose. So, because it's supposed to be like mounted in the little screw, and the screw keeps like loosening, I think over time of like switching it out. So anyway, that's fallen like a bazillion times this year. It's fine. You just hear a crashing noise, and you're like, oh, this is what that
noise is?
Yes, that's what it is.
I wondered about that.
It sounds like a crowbar just like falling on the floor.
I've gone out into the hall looking for the sound, and I'm like, I don't know what that was. And then I go back into the office.
It's the toilet paper roll holder. So advice for anybody else, just business in general, or also the specific business in general. We get several questions about owning a bookstore, coffee shop. With advice, I always start with 2 things of find your cheerleaders. Those are people that are always going to encourage you on your venture and are not going to be the voices of reason for you. You need just people that are going to cheer you on and are not going to care about the logic, and they're just going to be wholeheartedly believing in you and your passion and your pursuits. So find your cheerleaders. I think that that is so important to keeping yourself on the right track. You do need the people who are going to bring logic and reason in, but you really need your cheerleaders, because if everybody is bringing in logic and reason, then you're going to feel discouraged sooner. And having cheerleaders is really just helpful to keep you on track. And then educate yourself. I think that finding the specific education that you need for opening what you want to open is really important. I don't think that that means a college education. I don't think that that means any formal education necessarily, because things like YouTube have great resources for how-to business. And I think that, like, for example, where we learned a lot of our knowledge for opening the bookstore is there's a specific company that teaches you how to open an independent bookstore. And so a lot of what we learned was through them. It was called, and maybe still is called, Paz and Associates, but I think that it's also like the bookstore group or the bookstore training group.
Yeah.
So
like
I'll link it with the video just so everybody has that resource, because they have really great information.
And I would also add, when it comes to educating yourself, getting experience in the sort of business that you want to work in, even if it's not necessarily, if you can't get a job at a bookstore, that's fine. Getting any sort of retail job at a small business, I think, can teach you so much. Because even just before we started the process of opening the bookshop, I started working at a garden center, and there was a little gift shop in it that I would work in, and I learned a lot just from getting to do displays and their point of sale system and how they had things set up. I was able to form my own opinions on, you know, what I would want that to look like in my own shop. So getting experience just honestly in a small business, I think, can teach you a lot, because you get to firsthand see, and I think that teaches you a lot. I'm not going to say a lot more than going to college, but I definitely learned things that I wouldn't have learned in college, if that makes sense. You know.
Plans for moving forward. One of those is obvious because we're doing it right now. YouTube. It's something that from the beginning I've wanted to do. I think Casey's also wanted to do it.
I've been intrigued by all of the different things we can do with it. We have different fun ideas of what is fun with YouTube. Alyssa very much wants to make informative videos.
I want to share the knowledge that I couldn't find, that we had to learn the hard way. Like don't go too hard. Ease yourself into it. Yep.
Whereas I just kind of want to play. I kind of want to use it as a creative expansion of the Fable Hollow branding. We're thinking of trying video newsletters also, which I think could be really fun. And like Alyssa's already played with, also doing a writing sprint video that's Fable Hollow branded. We just have so much we can play with our brand.
Yeah. Other things, we touched on it briefly, but we're going to kind of rearrange again.
I don't think we'll ever stop rearranging.
No, we won't stop rearranging, but there's things coming, like a bigger community table instead of a bunch of small tables that we've had in one area right now, and more D&D stuff coming. And
we're at this point figuring out the balance between retail space and seating, because we do have so many people who want to come in and work or sit with friends, and we do want to accommodate that, but at the same time we need space for retail, because that's where we make a good chunk of our money. And there's also the problem of, there's a lot of people who come in by themselves who want to work, and then there's groups, and we have such a small space, we have to be very intentional with it. So we're trying to figure out how we can make areas that could be both shared by singular people or used for a group.
We are going to celebrate our birthday.
We are.
We're
a tame birthday.
Well, what we've realized is, like, special drinks is what people like, so we're going to pair it with our spring changeover and drinks, and it's going to be like a weekend celebration.
Oh yeah, we're trying adult story time, which I'm excited about.
That was something we talked about before we even opened.
Mhm.
We were like, you know what would be nice is if somebody read a story to us as adults.
I love being read to.
I love being read to.
And I love reading out loud, so I thought it would be really fun to try. And we're gonna do our Mages and Pages book club pick every month. So at the beginning of the month, I'll read a chapter or two, depending on how long it is. It'll be 20 to 30 minutes, I think. And then a coloring page, and people can sit probably on the floor. With how many people there are that want to come, it will probably end up
be
like sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are missing the main big thing, which would be the Crescent City.
Yes.
Midnight release. The thing that is just on the horizon.
Yes.
That hopefully I will have gotten this video edited and published by.
Oh, you'll hyperfixate on it. I believe it.
I'm planning on doing it this evening.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing another midnight release party, and this time it is for Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City 3 book, House of Flame and Shadow. We wanted to do this midnight release party differently because our first one, there were so many people who wanted to join and couldn't because we literally couldn't fit any more people in our shop. It's about a 50 body limit basically in our shop. So we decided to do it at an event center and to amp it up a bit. And we're going to do a bowl. So people can dress up in fantasy core or Sarah J. Maas costumes, whatever they want.
I really need to buy my dress.
You still haven't bought it?
I still haven't bought it. I
I
should do that today too.
You should do that today, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're dressing up. There's still going to be trivia. We have some Fable Hollow people who are helping us with the trivia. There's going to be snackage and dancing, and I'm really excited for it. It's going to be super fun. There are still tickets available. We're hoping to fill up the space and just have a really good time.
Yeah.
I do know there are some people that are going even who haven't read the book simply because they want to enjoy the time, which I'm like, absolutely. As long as you don't mind the trivia part, go for it.
Yeah.
Hi, Piper.
Piper has come to join.
Stretch. Well done. So yeah, those are what first quarter happenings, because we're planning quarterly now,
which is a happy step for me. I'm so happy that we're planning quarterly.
Yeah, we won't be playing a game of catch up all the time
because we were planning weekly. I mean, not weekly. We were to an extent, but we were planning monthly.
At first, there was no plan at all. At first it was get open.
And then it was, oh, thank God we need it.
And then it was stay afloat. And then it was like just trying to build something underneath us so that we could accomplish literally anything else. Because when we first opened, there wasn't even time to be in the office to order more books.
Yeah.
There was time for nothing. We were just up front, just keeping it running. Thank you guys for listening to our rants / whatever that was that we just did.
Our wrap up. It's a wrap up.
It's a wrap up. Well, no, yeah. Thanks for joining us in our lovely bookshop. We hope that we can make more videos for you guys soon, and we hope to hear what you want from us, what sort of videos you want us to make. You can let us know in the comment section below, or, let us know on Instagram. I'll hear it there too, in person, whatever you want. We'll be around. So we'll see you guys later. Welcome to the video. On this video, we will be tapping and playing with hair. So let's get started on the video.
Photographers are like, and then tilt your chin down. And I'm like,
no. She was, yeah.
So you started it again?
Yes. Okay. Now I'm doubting it.
We did a thing for our night hoods.
What are you growling at?
There's a person all the way across the street.
How dare they?
How dare they? Do you think it still picks up her growls when it's like these mics?
I don't know.
Because we should probably pause just in case her growls are like in the background.
Done. She's done.
You good? whenever we're problem solving, we say, well, alternatively.
So we're thinking, I want to move this chair, and then the entire shop is rearranged.
And that's going to happen today too, because you're like, oh, let's change the displays. Is that all?
Yeah,
Is there like an...
It's feelings.
The rants that I'll probably edit out of this video.
Yeah, it's fine. I will exile you. Banish Ed.
Piper.
No. I think you have a lot to edit.
Yeah, I have a lot to work with. It's fine. It'll be like a 5-minute video.
No, it won't. I expect that to be a 30-minute video at least.